Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Only Football. Max Baumler and Michael Holder. Mike, how you doing, bub?
I'm doing a lot better now, You
Why is
guys in the top four, great games of soccer that happened, and, anything is wide open.
Are they in a title race?
No, they're not in title race. But you know what? Third isn't looking so far. One of those teams will drop off badly.
Wow, my email's not loading. Where the fuck is it?
How are you feeling with that performance against Watford?
Honestly, the performance overall didn't really bother me. It was obviously the finishing that cost us, which I would say before the last month for United hasn't really been the issue. But in the last month, there's been a lot of sitters missed by Bruno, especially, and Ronaldo. So they're actually starting to get some service. I was happy with the lineup that he put out there. I was happy to see that Lindelof and Varane started at the back, and the subs that he actually wound up making. The team that he finished with is the team that I want to see.
Finishing games.
No, starting games, apart from the fact that Matic just can't actually, start match in, match out. So if we actually had a proper CDM, I know I harp on this all the time, but I think we ended with Rashford. Yeah, I could let go, but Sancho and Elanga on the wings, and then Matic holding, and then Pogba dropping back is what I'd want to see. But terrible result, and top four. If I was dubious before that match, which we absolutely should have got a win for, I am now before that match. Just checking to see that we're good there. Okay. I do think top four is done.
It's done.
It's
a long season. I know you guys have a difficult stretch coming, but long season, anything could happen.
Fair enough, Mike. But I just don't see it. And
It's not loading.
No, and the thing is that I just had all the. We're going to be talking about the relegation battle in particular, and Bielsa getting replaced, and we'll get to that in a second. But John is here, Super Leeds John listening. I just had everyone who's mired in the relegation battle. I had who they have for relegation matches left and who they have
top six
for the big six, which is
you're right.
Which is West Ham's in sixth right now.
Yes.
Okay, still so. I will keep on looking at that. But Mike, why don't you kick us off with the Carabao Cup, which was a really, really great final.
It was one of the best 0-0 games I've seen. Exciting, poor finishing. Up to that, other than that though, great game. Both teams had their shot to win. Both teams got screwed by VAR. One team multiple times, but all in all, it was a great final.
I'm saying Chelsea multiple times.
Yeah.
It has to be a red. Is that what we're talking about? Come on, it's a red. What, he studded him in the groin.
All right.
Wait. So wait. What are you saying? Lukaku's offside, and what else then? If not the red,
Havertz offside.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. He scored. He scored in the second half of the.
No, but Werner was offside though. Werner was offside for that. That's what you're talking about.
No, when Havertz put it in with his feet, he was offside, drifted offside. When he collected with his right and put it for a corner on the ground, there's so many chances that
it was. I actually am completely spaced on that.
Too many.
I would say, you look at Van Dijk's.
It should have been a card. I get it. It happened in extra time. That actually.
No, I think that was
near the
in the 90.
Time?
I think that was in the 90.
Would have been a different game. I thought for sure it was going to be, but I guess it's either red or nothing if you're going to review it, right?
Both went in studs up as well.
Yeah, they did. It just one connected, but it's it's different.
I think that's a straight red.
It should have been a yellow called right away, and then if it's a yellow, you could review to see it's a red and keep the yellow, but no yellow was given. It was actually a play on. I think Liverpool actually had a good chance to score after it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't playing as a neutral fan. It was a great game.
It was, it was poor finishing. Some great goalkeeping on both ends, Mendy especially, and then Mendy gets subbed out for penalties. And when I was messaging you and Guy last year during the Europa League final, I love De Gea, and I rate him over Henderson 100%. But I was calling for Henderson to come in for Penn's that match, which I don't think we've really seen a substitution of that ilk since Silesen and since the Dutch did Van Gaal did it against Argentina. Against Costa Rica, and then didn't do it against Argentina, and then they ended up losing. But I really, really did want De Gea then for this match. I mean, Mendy, I haven't noticed that he has not been stopping pens, and like Kepa like blows me away. I've seen Kepa in pens quite a bit. I know he won. He did
2 shootouts. He won 2 shootouts
against Frankfurt a couple of years ago. And
this year he won 2.
Oh because he was playing in those.
Super
Yes,
Cup
that's right. And then the EFL because Mendy was hurt for a minute, right? Which is, I mean, I can see it, but I mean, Mendy was lights out.
Well, before the match, when months ago when they're talking about the Kepa and shootouts, the teammates were saying, "Oh, I swear he could reminds all the reviews were good for him." So I'm like, maybe they do know what's best. They obviously Tuchel's probably practiced penalties. They've been in situation. I think the 3rd and 4th round of this competition, they had to go to shootouts. They've won. They seem to like Kepa better. Kudos to Mendy for taking it how we should take it. Just, if you're being subbed off, just come off the field, Kepa. Don't make a show out of it. And, I get this could have been a redemption game for Kepa, but you know what? You got your chance. You blew it.
Skied it.
It's Mendy's team from now on.
And he skied it. Well, it was already Mendy's
team. I mean, for shootouts, like they're not making
that's 11 straight.
0 for 11.
0 for 11, and I mean, I will say like the pens taken for both teams for the most part were immaculate.
Yeah, and you could tell that they've been practicing, and they sent the best shooters out, and even the ones who didn't raise their hands were finishing. What I will say is Kepa got really embarrassed on Van Dijk, cheated to the left, and still got beat. I was dying of laughter, and Van Dijk could have saved. Because he was already there.
Well, it was Konaté's especially that he should have.
Yes,
Konaté.
Most of the other ones, not really. But cheating towards the left and telling Van Dijk to shoot there, and Van Dijk shooting it there and still beating you. Very embarrassing. We watched that review. Did you remember that line?
I thought I didn't
watch
see him cheat.
Rewatch it.
I will
because there's only so much you can do as a goalkeeper.
He cheated hard.
I remember Van Dijk's penalty being pretty good though.
It was a good
penalty. It was a good penalty, but he was
already there. He dove the right way and still missed. That's embarrassing.
Okay. Quickly with Van Dijk's so Matip's goal that was disallowed. I do think that based on how they've changed the rules in the last couple of years, that Van Dijk is actually interfering with James. Like I see why it's a little soft. I was drawing the comparison a couple weeks ago when United were playing Burnley, and Van Dijk's was lesser so than Maguire just kind of standing there completely. But I can see why it was given off. The Lukaku one is just, this is where VAR like really needs to relook back. And I think if there wasn't a makeup call to be had for the Van Dijk one, that would have been given a goal.
Oh, you think it was a makeup call?
A little bit.
If
not, it completely needs to stop. That needs to stop.
Again, I've always
said a game killer.
My opinion on that, it's whoever. It depends. Sometimes it actually depends who's drawing the lines, and that's the difference. It's unfair, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Tough break for Lukaku because when he scored, I was like, maybe Liverpool is a small team, right? VAR and the linesman's proved me correct, or proved you.
I wasn't laughing at Liverpool. I was laughing at Lukaku there.
He only scores against small clubs, right?
Yes.
So clearly, Liverpool's not a small club.
Or Italian clubs.
Well,
same thing.
No,
is that what you're gonna say? You said well.
No,
you said well.
League suits him better. The Italian league suits him better.
He does need to get back there. Apparently, there's already rumors that he's willing to take a wage cut to get back to Inter.
I would say come to you.
But what's in?
We already got Blau.
What's in? Oh, my bad. Okay. Oh boy. Outlet.
Right here.
Right here.
And there's one there. Is that one plugged in there?
I believe so. There's one right here behind Mike. You're close, don't worry.
No. Okay. Okay, Mike, let's get into the relegation battle. Let's open up with Bielsa getting the sack. I'd actually mentioned to Joe, and I'm sure John, who's sitting right here, Super Leeds John, and other Leeds fans might not necessarily want to hear this, but I was messaging Joe when it was 3-0, like, first half. I was like, he needs to go whether they keep him up, whether he keeps them up or not. He needs to go because he's just not. He's too inflexible. And I know it's very romanticized, but I generally thought that Leeds, because of what he's done for them, would keep him for the end of the season no matter what. So I do actually back the fact that they had the stones to actually get rid of him. And it wasn't difficult. It was a difficult decision, no question. And a lot of Leeds fans, obviously, basically all of them, a lot of Leeds players came out and kind of poured their heart out for what he's done for them. Phillips, Bamford, Cooper, all of them.
Bielsa, man, he got us back in the Premier League.
Absolutely, and he's
16 in years, man.
And he's developed a lot of some players that like Phillips said that he turned me into a player that I didn't think I could become. Just to use one example. But I think it was good on Leeds to actually
pull the trigger,
drop the axe,
pull the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
Time to move on. Yeah, I did too think they would keep the end of the season, but if he's got to go, he's got to go. And there is some responsibility on his part. I get what, I'm not going to adapt to the other teams. The other teams have to adapt to us, but it seems like everyone's adapted to you.
Absolutely.
So, when everyone adapts to you, you have to adapt.
Exactly. And there was that first year where they kind of took teams by surprise. They had a great year last year. I think they ended up finishing 9th or 10th. And there were a lot of big results for them. It was 9th. Okay, there you go.
That's something to build on and see. Let's if we can do it again. Obviously injuries.
We had a conversation last year that there's a possibility. He was like, "Will they make? Do you think they can make the Europa League?" I'm like,
"Yeah." Well, in the Series Cup, I took them to make the Europa League, and you know what? And yes, you can say plenty of injuries, which is true. Huge, massive injuries. Phillips, Cooper, and Bamford again, largely out for the vast majority of the season. But sorry,
and Koch.
And Koch, Llorente was hurt for a bit too.
As you said, the spine of their team right down the middle.
Yeah, but you know what? That's more reason.
He also should have changed what he was doing.
Absolutely,
the absence of all these players.
Absolutely,
I would totally agree with that. Yeah, but like you said, he was still always been looked on fondly.
Oh yeah,
for sure. It's
not like I'm like get the fuck out of here,
Hey,
I'm like, well, sometimes you just gotta make a change.
That's just like Ole, right?
Well, let's not throw them. Let's not even throw them into the same sentence. Imagine what Bielsa could do with that this United squad. What he could do with that team.
Maybe he's in contention for the summer.
No, he's absolutely not.
He likes small ball too.
He does. He's never really taken on a really big club. Marseille, Bilbao. He's never really just kind of made that jump, and it's why.
I am still a firm believer that they should have bought. I don't know whose fault it is at the club, Bielsa's or above him, but I really believe they should have tried to buy. Sometimes he can be a bit like, I only want these 3 players, and if I don't get them, table. If I don't get them, I don't want anybody else.
Well, and so I do think
we needed just more depth.
Well, you and I were talking about this earlier today. Is that yes, Leeds did kind of show the willingness to make some buys, especially in that first year up. And obviously, Bielsa has always been known to be very rigorous in terms of who he's signing. And I think based on just on the surface, I think they would have backed him a little bit more if they wanted to. I think they kind of respected the fact that he wanted his players and they respected him so much. They're like, okay, fine. And he was the one who just kind of actually turned potential signings away. Just my thinking here, and I think, and then again, that just kind of falls on him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they can do.
Jesse Marsch coming in. Jesse Marsch after a
Burnley losing today was good.
Yes, it was. From a Leeds perspective, for sure. But definite. We'll see what Jesse Marsch does. Lasted about 3 months at Leipzig. After 2 successful years at Salzburg, and you can say with Marsch, he was successful at Salzburg. He won the Austrian League. But in those years, they caught people's attention in the Champions League as well. So he does play an expansive type of play as well. So it might translate to the players. They might not necessarily skip a beat, and I think he'll definitely come into this being like, okay, we need to tighten up a little bit more.
Yeah,
that Leeds do have Cooper.
Big ball pressure, not player pressure.
Well,
still high tempo though, which is good.
It's going to be. I think it still will be. Yeah, but you're going to have. But by I'd say the middle of the month, you should Leeds have all three of those players back in Cooper, Bamford, and Phillips. So it's a bounce. Quickly, let's just stick on Leeds. Going forward, they have Norwich, Watford, and Brentford. They are also 16th place, 23 points, 26 matches played. And then for the big six teams, they have Arsenal, Chelsea, and City to go. Let's run through the relegation battle a little bit, and then at the end, maybe kind of maybe throw out who you think's gonna
be relegated at this point.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's get to Brentford now. We'll jump at a spot to 15th. They're in 15th with 24 points and 27 matches played. 1 point from their last possible 27 points.
Yeah. It's bad. It's
Thomas Frank shouldn't have ran his mouth about United.
Well, and a lot of teams, but it actually was United.
It was United.
It was United.
Thomas Frank, after United beat them 3-0. Granted, they were the far better team in the first half, and De Gea made some big saves and they missed some sitters.
But if you don't score, that's what happens.
And then he just kind of just lambasted United, and I mean, he could say what
United, but he just
no, he did.
Boasted his team.
Yeah, no. He said United are lucky; they didn't deserve it, and he did. He did, and they've been losing ever since.
Yeah, they look like the team that I thought they would be when they came up. That's why I had them getting relegated. But you know what? From the first half of the season, I was very impressed with them.
Rom says, but he was right in response to Thomas Frank. United were poor, but
I think he overboasted his team and didn't put down United. I think he just said we are very unlucky. United, are
no. Listen, Mike. After this, we got to watch this table. The table's very, very shaky.
I would go 65-35. That he was wrong, but that I would go 65-35 that he was blaming Man United, but more overplaying his team's performance in a loss. You could be, you know what? At the end of the day, if you're losing 3-0, you're losing 3-0. Was it 3 or 2? 3. It was 3. Well, yeah, you can't talk like that. Actually, lose 3-0.
It was 3.
If they can turn it around, I think they can stay up. I've been very impressed when they've been playing well, but this slump, sometimes you don't get out of these slumps. And they're a team that's obviously first time there. They don't know what it's like to stay up there and to fight and scrap, and they're going to have to learn it on the road. What is it, 21 right now, relegation?
Sir?
18 spot is 21 points?
Yes.
Yes.
Burnley at 21 after today.
Yeah. They're 18th?
Yes.
So what? They're 3 points up with a game less, like on Burnley. It's going to be tough. It'd be good for my preseason pick.
I actually had them staying down,
but I do think they are one of the teams that will stay down.
I do think
Burnley will hopefully go down. I'm tired of seeing Burnley up here. I just want them to go down.
Yes, Mike.
I am not in that camp because I love Sean Dyche. If they ever go to Sean Dyche, because Sean Dyche just embodies them perfectly to me, and I
hate watching their game.
But
it's like I want to see teams that I enjoy watching. I hate when Burnley plays.
Okay, but you know what? Enjoy what? Them getting smashed week in, week out. Look what Norwich has done under Fark. They come up.
At least there's goals.
Right, exactly.
I know it's going to be 3-0, and I'm going to see 3 goals. That's at least.
So the result is gone.
I know the result.
It's a foregone. What do you mean?
0-0, 1-0.
You might get a draw though, and it's going to be tight.
Are you comparing right now in goals?
We're talking about Norwich. We're talking about Norwich via Burnley.
Yeah, okay. Burnley has scored 22 and Norwich has scored 15.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to Burnley in a second, okay? Because you know what, I'm gonna put some respect on Burnley, all right? But if they get rid of Dyche, then they can fuck off. Quickly, Brentford has Norwich this week coming up, Burnley the next, and then Watford and Leeds further down as well. So they have 4 relegation teams, or Meyer in the relegation battle teams, and then they have Chelsea, United, and Spurs. Everton, are they getting relegated? Are they getting relegated? 17th place, 22 points, 24
They won't get
played.
relegated, but it's shocking that they're down there. But
They are right there.
It really is, yeah.
They're right there.
I watched half of the Everton-Chelsea game, and I was pretty impressed with them. I know they had
Everton City?
Yeah, I was impressed with Everton. City were the better team, but
because they are the better team, but Everton held their own.
And it's the goal they concede, very avoidable. It's unfair that they lose the game like that. And of course, come back to VAR. Mm-hmm. They admitted after the game that the Richarlison offside had nothing to do with the decision, right? Is that what I heard?
I'm not sure.
Because if I read that as true, that's very, very bad and irresponsible. And, I know Pep after the game said it should have been a penalty. We got lucky, but it's happened multiple times now. It's like something must be going on, right? I don't want to say it, but
Varsity.
Does Premier League make that much money if they win City? Are they getting some backdoor money?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
this is multiple years who are going City's way.
Who are City's owners?
I just like anyone who says that isn't a handball. take away the offside. If they come out and say the offside is what deemed the penalty a non-penalty, that's good. That's fine. I'll accept that. You're dying on the sword, but if you're saying the offside had nothing to do with the factor and that you're basically saying that's not a penalty, you either have to get a new VAR team, new something, or just don't go to VAR at all. Like, I don't know how the ref. Well, on the ref on the field, I can see how Rodri's body is blocking the actual view, but he's at least got to look over. And he's got to. If you take that long to review it, at least have the ref look over and make the decision and give him the chance to stick by the call he made or overturn it. But it has to be his decision. He has to look at it, and he didn't look at it. And I think that's what's frustrating. If you're a neutral, I'm a neutral fan. Like, City should have scored some goals before, but Everton held them out, and it was Michael Keane.
Michael Keane, Harry
That was
Maguire.
bad. That was bad. Like, and I felt so bad.
Would you take Michael Keane or Harry Maguire?
Harry Maguire.
Yeah, and I guess slightly.
I answered the question.
I would agree with you, but like ever so slightly. It was a question. It was like a legit question.
No, I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go that far.
I think if we asked, 10 people in the street, I think you get 3 people say Michael Keane.
I think everything will be fine.
I think it'll be what?
I think there's too much talent. There's too much talent. Yeah, okay. No United bias. No bias. No bias.
I think I'll go to 1. I'll go to 1 out of 10.
There's too much talent on the team to get relegated. Surely.
They won't.
Lampard
they
cannot return to management if they get relegated.
Yes.
He's done.
He can return to management, but it would be
you're dropping
championship
level. That highest.
Yes, championship level. He would get a good championship team. He wouldn't get a.
Why? What do you mean a good championship team? If you're a championship team who's looking for a new manager, that means you've most likely not come close to getting promoted. So,
or someone gets promoted elsewhere to, I don't know, but he would be done. He wouldn't be done. That's really harsh. But no, to answer the question, Everton, no, I don't even need to know the remaining schedule against the top big 6. And the remaining, they are not getting relegated. So they are not in part. I know they are in the relegation battle.
I will tell you anyways, Michael, because they have Newcastle, Watford, and Brentford. But then they have Spurs, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham, Leicester, and Wolves.
Oh.
No,
does that add? Win those first 2 the relegation battle games.
It's not in order. It's not in order. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm saying those are the 3 relegation teams they have. Then they have 5 of the big 6 plus West Ham, Leicester, and Wolves.
Yeah, Leicester. They're not in top half yet. You don't know what Leicester you're going to get. But.
We just got Jamie Vardy back after 3 months. He gets a goal and assist in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but can you do it
on the wagon?
Can you do it in a rainy day?
Jamie Vardy needs a rest, okay? Jamie Vardy, when he's healthy, dips off for the period he's injured anyway.
Old man, but he's certainly not a young man.
No, but he's been off for a while, and he's a speed demon. Anyway, I'm just saying it's a boost for Leicester. And Mike, that's a tough schedule.
They'll get it done. They'll win these games.
Mike, that's.
Do you think they're getting relegated?
That's 8 matches.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's.
That's 8 matches.
I'm not worried about them.
That's 8 matches out of 14.
Yeah. Well, they'll win 3 of those matches. They'll win 2 of the ones that you're worried about. Wolves, West Ham, Leicester. You said Wolves, West Ham, Leicester?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll win 2 of those. Or they'll get 4 points of 9.
They'll win 2 of those?
They'll get 4 of 9. So a win and a tie and a loss. Or 2 wins and a loss.
$50.
Witness.
You know, just but do you think they're getting relegated?
That schedule is tasty. That schedule is tasty. Give me 2-1 that they get relegated.
Whoa, what's this? It's already like half agreed on. Come on.
No, we shook. And then, I was letting him go because I was adding another. I was going to bring him back. I'm bringing him back.
Can't be doing it like that.
Give me 2-1 the early. 2-1. That's generous. That's generous, Mike.
What?
3-1. Give me 3-1.
You changed real quick, eh?
It's Everton.
You don't think they're getting relegated. That's what I think.
He's right. It's Everton, but that schedule is pretty gnarly.
It's New Everton.
It is.
It's New Everton.
It is.
Inspired Everton.
Van der Beek's going to carry them. So is 4 points a split? Do we push?
You mean 4 points
on those 3 matches? If they have 4 points, do we push?
Yeah. Well, I said they'll get 4.
So it should be 4. So I screwed that. I should have made that a push.
It's Shikon.
It is absolutely. You're right. I should have made that a
If
push.
they win the first
I
game,
tried. I
should be.
I kind of weaseled that. I tried to weasel that. I did.
Watch them lose the first game, tie the second, and then
I actually think
they'll have to win.
I actually do think they'll stay up, and I do think I'm losing that bet actually because they'll be. I don't know when those matches are coming up, but
Everything getting relegated, matches and money.
Okay, Watford. Well, it's either you win either way, right? It's either I win money or. Okay, or I lose money, and then Everton get relegated. Okay, Watford 19th, 19 points, 26 played. And ask you a question. What is with these Watford owners? Twice they've been up in the last 3 years. They have had 3 managers in season. Are they pushing for a 4th? Roy Hodgson, why?
He was ecstatic with the win. He got a title, Trafford. I guess Ranieri could
the draw, which was a win for them?
Yeah, pretty much. You know it was.
Sarr must snagged it top corner last minute.
At the end, no. Yeah, he's shaking.
Can he get? It's a nice front 3. I think
that's good for him. If they get relegated, he's gone. So
that's the sin. So why would you choose Roy Hodgson? He doesn't care. The guy was basically retired. Why did you bring him in?
Oh, no one can.
He has no horse in this race whatsoever.
Maybe they're just trying to be the new Norwich. Be the 21st best team in England. Go up, get relegated. Go down, get promoted.
You get the TV money. You get the TV money when you get relegated.
Consistent.
When you get relegated, that's when you get the TV money. You have to stay up a year, or you have to play it for a year.
I don't know.
Are they going for a 4th manager? Like, are they going to set?
They're going for relegation.
Are they setting a personal record? Are they setting a personal best?
I think they'll stick
for managers in a season. Like these guys are clowns.
They're going down. Do you think they're staying up?
The thing is with me is that I think they're going down. I do think they're going down. I actually had them stay up at the beginning of the season. I had Newcastle, Burnley, and Norwich, and it was looking good up until the January transfer window.
I think it's what happened in December before the transfer window.
What do you mean?
The money.
No, that came in October.
Oh, so even
But they were still struggling. They were anyway.
But
Newcastle
the money was going to solve.
Regardless, they have a front 3, Watford, that I think would suit any low to mid-table club. Dennis Sarr King, Dennis and Sarr especially, and how is Roy Hodgson actually going to provide for these guys? He's starved.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. They have to figure out internally what's best for them. I'm talking about as an organization, not the team, and make the right steps that way. I think all these bridge stopgaps that aren't even stopgaps at the time with these change of managers, they aren't doing anything and they're not learning their lesson. And if this is the lesson they have to learn the hard way, so be it. But I don't stand for what they're doing. So I agree with you that this is just spineless. And it's repetitive, but it's the same mistake over and again. And it's insanity, actually, what they call it, right? Expecting a different result. Doing the same thing.
They do call it insanity. Yeah.
So I don't want them staying up. Before the season with the players they had, and then seeing Sarr in the league last time, them coming up, thinking, maybe they learned their lesson.
Dennis as well,
they have not learned their lesson. So back down you go.
I forget his name. He's gone to Huesca, but their original manager, way back 2 managers ago, Zisha or something like that. Anyway, they weren't even they were in 14th place when
they were playing well too.
I know.
Dennis scored 6 goals.
And we spoke about it at the time too. It's what are you doing? They bring in Ranieri for whatever reason. Anyway.
Was it Ranieri when they lost? When Ole got sacked? Or was
Ranieri was still playing? That was either his first or I think it was the second. I think it was the second match. I think it was. No, it was before that. No, it was third or fourth. They'd already smashed Everton under Ranieri as well.
Right, true.
Okay, right? And then Norwich, we don't really have to.
They're going down.
They're done. Down. They had a decent run under Dean Smith. You know what? Hopefully, for Norwich's sake, the only reason I want to see Norwich actually come back up again is to see if Dean Smith can do it, because I think he did a great job at Villa. I think Villa justifiably with the ambition that they have fired Dean Smith, but. I think you've seen Norwich really tighten up. It's the same personnel, but Fark had them playing with their heads with chickens with their heads cut off for the better part of 3 years. Both times when they were in the Prem, they were getting shelled. And then Dean Smith comes in there and they're not conceding like they were. They're getting some results. I agree with you. I think they are going down, but I would like to see them kind of have a year again in the Championship and see if they can come up. Personally, I don't want to see Norwich. Canaries, yellow jerseys. They're always up and down.
I don't mind
it's ridiculous.
Nothing intimidating about Canary.
No,
I know. I might not get poisoned in a mine. That's about canaries and mines and things.
Oh yeah, go in history lesson.
I think for Norwich, Renton, it's
in a cage in like a something like a whatever you would be in a mine. Mm-hmm. So if they tunneled into something that would leak noxious gas, the canary would die before you would. And you'd the canary's dead. Okay. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
We're about to get poisoned to death.
I mean, shit's getting pretty dicey, John. We should probably get some canaries.
With Renton, they make more money going up and down.
Rom says Norwich should just stay in the Championship for a few years. And I'm with you. It's just solely for Dean Smith for me. That's it. But,
but they are. I think their goal is to be the 21st best team.
You mean that's ownership.
Always coming up, always going down, guaranteeing Premier League every other year. It's nice.
Oh man, must have got some bleach on my pants.
Oh, that's fine. Bleach. That's what they call it.
Man, right? It's Mike. You can see it's bleach always seems that pink or That's unfortunate.
Norwich going down. Who? Yeah. Do we even need to go through their schedule?
Norwich, no, not really. Watford quickly do have 4 teams in the relegation battle, but I think they're done too. Okay, Mike, let's go to Serie A, and then we will do one match from the Serie A, which no one seems to want to win right now, and then we'll come back to the PL to preview 2 matches. Napoli hosting Milan, first and second place, tied on points. Napoli had on goal differential. Inter with a game in hand, 2 points behind.
Yeah.
Napoli almost blow it. Almost don't win
against
Lazio. But that's a big win. You dig deep too, especially after playing Thursday against Barcelona as well.
At home, getting smacked, and then you have to go back in front of home fans.
And with the Lazio match, if you're Napoli, based on the title race, you're happy with a draw there. You don't think so? Obviously, you go. You go to win it, but when you're sizing up schedules. You take a point at Napoli.
Napoli, if they want to win the league, they know they have to get 3 points. They can't normally Napoli would be happy with the Lazio tie, but given the situation that they're in this year, they know they have to win that game. They have to.
That's fair.
I think going into that match, being happy with the tie is already giving away the league. So good on them for coming back and clawing back and showing fight. Showing that they want to be a part of this race and they don't want to drop any more points, seeing that Milan and Inter have just been dropping points as a crazy ever since Milan beat Inter to make it a title race again. But I think this is a big game for both teams. But I think I think if Napoli lose this game, they can say goodbye to the title.
But you think AC can still hang around? You think AC is a little? I agree with you. Actually, I do. I think AC just kind of have had that mentality since last year.
That they actually belong. They have. I feel as though they have a sense of they belong, and going into it, I didn't think they would be in the title race, but they did, and clearly they did. And look at them; they're doing great.
Last 2 matches though.
No, yeah,
those are big points dropped. Home against Udinese, and they were. I watched the second half. I forgot the match was on, so. I watched the second half. They were up 1-0 at halftime. They were getting shelled by Udinese. Absolutely shelled. Salernitana, never even actually try to pronounce that name correctly. They draw that on the road the week before as well. 4 points dropped, and it's a little bit of a worrying form. Today, from what I saw in the Copa, mostly watched the first half, they were very unfortunate actually not to get a win in the first leg against Inter. From the first half, from what I saw. Second half, I didn't really see so much. I picked up at work, but there's a couple things with Milan that, I like just how they were against Udinese. I hope they can kind of shake off what has happened in Serie A the last couple weeks based on the performance they had today against Inter, and take some confidence from that. If they did kind of, even though it did finish 0-0, if they did kind of at least hold it down in the second half. Because the first half, it looked very good. They were unfortunate on the score, some poor finishing. Leao, for example, was threatening, but his final product was just off. And, another thing is I'm really I've mentioned Pioli enough before because I was really disappointed what he did at Fiorentina with the team that I thought was.
You can't let that go, eh?
I really can't. But with Milan, he's really kind of turned me around. I'm very happy with how he's nurtured young talent. Leao, especially Tomori come in last year from Chelsea, and Tonali is who I really want to focus on because he's even last year. They have a good pivot. They have a good their pivot. There's Benacer and Kessie there, but he's been really just kind of bringing in Tonali and kind of developing him to the player that we all think he will become. And he's been getting the matches, match in, match out in the Serie A for the last 4 to 6 matches. I think he's been playing 90 minutes. And despite a poor performance against Udinese, I believe he got man of the match. And so I think, you keep that going. I think it's Kessié and Tonali in the pivot for this match. And those two, I think, can take on, Deme and Fabienne, who I don't want to see as Salamakers.
You don't like Salamakers?
I don't. I think we've mentioned this too. He's just.
I take him over Diaz.
But Diaz you put in the 10.
Yeah, I know.
But Diaz you put in the 10. He started Krunic today. In the number 10 role, which I don't like, and I still think you put Diaz. Salamakers to me is just very
wasteful, or
just flat. He's just flat. Like I think he'd be like an interesting player for the likes of one of the relegation battle teams that we just mentioned. That's
why would he go there? No,
I don't think he's that good.
No, he's better than that. So you like a Norwich, Burnley, those type of teams, Watford.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
He could stay in the league.
The chips fall, they fall. But I would take Sarr over 10 Salamakers. Ishmael Sarr. Okay. What?
There you go.
Okay.
10 Salamakers.
Well, it'd be pointless. It would be pointless. To say more than one Salamaker would be pointless. I'm just trying to hammer that home. Would you take Ishmael Sarr or would you take Salamakers?
Sarr.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's one. It is one example. It is one example. It is. But I really like. Again, watching him today, I'm like, man, this guy, like, he should have scored. Actually, like, he was given a gift, and I'm not using that. Like I've mentioned him before. He's just not that good. He's just really not that good.
I don't know. I think Napoli is Milan at home for this.
I believe Napoli is.
Napoli's at home. Napoli at home. I don't know. This is a bigger game for Napoli. I think it's going to end in a tie. I don't think any team. It's going to hurt both teams.
You going 2-0?
No, 1-0.
1-0. I'm going for a banger.
This is a result that's going to hurt both teams. Unfortunately, Inter's going to be very happy with this, but I think a tie for Napoli in this situation wouldn't be as bad. I think a tie against Lazio would have been. A tie in this situation necessarily doesn't, but they need a win. They need to be in first.
As long as
I don't think if they're playing catch up, I don't think they're going to win.
Yes, and technically they are playing catch up.
No, the games in hands won't count.
I said technically.
Games in hands. No, technically they're first.
No, they are in first.
Yeah.
I said technically they're playing catch up.
They're not though, because they're in first. You can never be in.
So they're not technically in first. They are in first. I'm saying technically they're playing catch up. I said technically they're playing catch up because Inter have a match in hand. I agree with you that you want the points on the board, but all I'm saying is that technically
they are in first.
They are playing catch up.
They're not playing catch up because that game in hand you can't count it as a win.
That's why I'm saying technically.
No, but I'm saying technically you're wrong. Technically they're in first, and that's it.
No, they are in first, and I agree with
that. So technically they're in first too.
No, they are in first. There's no technically about it. They are in first. Technically, they're playing catch up because Inter are 2 points back with a game in hand. That's why I said technically.
They're what points back?
They're 2 points back.
That's what I thought. So technically, it's a long debate that's not going to be settled in the next.
Rom, anyone please? It's just someone finish this for me.
You're wrong. Just accept.
No, they are in first,
and technically they're in first too.
Okay.
They are. You can't count the game in hand for Inter as a win. So Inter are behind, but you can say Inter are behind but have a game in hand.
I'm just saying that for the sake of it, that the Napoli have more to do.
They have to, for them to win the league, they have to hold on. They can't. I don't think they're good enough to play catch up mentally. Right? They could prove me wrong, but I think if Milan or Inter were to fall behind, I would still have more confidence in them coming back to win the league than if Napoli went behind. I think it's going to 1-1 tie. What I would like would be a Napoli win, though. And Napoli win, though. But as a Juve fan, can't be too wishful thinking.
Well, I'm gonna go for a banger here, and I think something on my phone. 3-2.
Well, when Milan. You say banger, it has to be 3-2.
I'm going 3-2 Milan because I think the win is it is imperative for both sides. But again, as you've been saying, Milan.
Be sloppy defending.
Rom says Serie A third best league in Europe.
Technically, it's the best league actually. If you look by,
I don't hate that.
It is. No, if you look by points and
which points
and who could win, and top four is
who can win what?
The league. Like England.
Oh, in terms of how tight it is.
In France, it's over. Germany,
it's 1 year.
It's over.
It's 1 year though. It's 1 year. It's been a couple years we've had a race. Yeah.
Technically, it's the best.
Oh, technically.
And it is. Technically, because it is. Yeah. The most exciting as a neutral. Sorry.
Yeah, but
if you're talking about quality of leagues, then your statement can be true. Yes.
Liga number 2.
No. I'm not answering that. You riled me. Congratulations.
I riled Rom. Rom said, "I'm not shaking his head." Rom always comes over from the cafe because he's always doing work there, and he's
raving about the French league.
He pops his head over. No, he rags on the French league because I like it because I like to see some young talent, which like all the best talent comes from, and the Eredivisie.
Yes.
No, actually, in the Portuguese league, but pop his head over and he's like, this is the French league again. It's Farmers League.
The Farmers League, yeah. It's an international trade.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, they've had more different winners in the last 5 years than Serie A has.
We're going to talk about the Europe League.
Yeah, they have. Yes, they have.
And the Bundesliga.
Yep. And what? And English League too, right? Keep going.
No, not in the last 5 years. It's Chelsea.
Oh, like Chelsea, 3 City, 1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
Chelsea was 5 years ago.
Yeah, with Conte.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's get on to. You want to do Liverpool first? Which is the closer match, really? Let's do the Manchester Derby. It's a wash.
No, Liverpool.
Okay, Liverpool is hosting West Ham. Big match. I mean, in terms of title race, Liverpool's right there. Like let's not downplay it.
They could have been even more right there if VAR went a certain way. But
sure, yeah.
Hopefully, I really hope the title race doesn't come down to that decision. That's what I hope.
Probably will.
That's what I hope. Hopefully not. But no, this is a Liverpool route. Not route, but I think it's a 2 or 3-0 Liverpool.
I have the same. I have 3 in Liverpool. The West Ham's been great, but
West Ham beat them the last time.
They did. I think it's going to piss them off even more. Just in the fashion that they beat them too. The goals that Liverpool conceded Arnold was out to lunch at that time. There was a really fortunate goal, and that was against Chelsea. I think the next week for West Ham, but
the cross, the deflection that corner,
Sorry, go on.
No, but this is a revenge, and the fact that I think Liverpool are going to be played a bit more pissed off. Obviously, they won the EFL Cup; they're celebrating that, but they're going to be a bit more pissed off because of the VAR decision. And it's like we have to beat 14 players every week to win the league. It's that's what it's going to probably 15, 16, 17 with the VAR officials. But I just don't see West Ham. They did beat Wolves 1-0. Defensively they are looking better. They are struggling to score besides Bowen. Antonio has dropped off. Ben Rama's dropped off. They have to play Lanzini. They're trying to play Vlasic. They're trying to find some other sources of output besides Jared Bowen, who seems to be the only person who can score for that team, or get something going for them. And I think this recent run of form, depending on Bowen, is gonna be their detriment in this game, because if they're gonna beat Liverpool again, they're gonna need all 11 guys firing, so maybe even the bench, but they have to be clinical, and Liverpool's gonna
hasn't been that bad for West Ham. I know Bowen's been on fire, but there's still threats around that team.
Not really though. Have you watched them?
West Ham's in 5th, by the way.
Oh, they moved ahead of Man U? No, they're
ahead of Arsenal.
By 1 point. Oh, okay.
They're tied. They have a better goal differential.
They played 3 more games. That's why. But I don't think it's going to be a close match at all. I think.
I have 3-0. Anfield. Yeah,
I'm going to say 3-0 too.
Yeah, 3. Stick with 3.
I'll go 2 just to be different.
Rom's happy that we're back talking about the PL after he's slated Liga for being a PSG practice session league for Champions League.
Oh, they lost, right? They lost their second before last game. PSG lost.
I agree with you, Rom.
Who won last year?
It was Lille. It wasn't a Farmers League last year, but this year it went back to being a Farmers League.
Sure.
It's pretty simple. Most of the time, it's a Farmers League. Most of the time.
So, are we just surrounded by Farmers Leagues? Is this all?
No.
Serie A is no longer a Farmers League. It was for a long time.
No, it was still a good league, a great league.
Because Juve won every year.
Oh no, well, we still we won the Champions League finals. It clearly just wasn't the league, but it was a great team. But I guess from the outside perspective, it did look like a Farmers League.
Fun fact: UEFA just posted points. Some kind of point system, I guess, based on how each nation is doing this season. Liga is number 2 in Europe, just for the record. PL, Liga.
Does that include Europa?
Yes.
That's why.
Still
because all the teams are in that one.
Still includes Europa. And the Conference League, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, Farmers League still. You're not going to win that argument. Yeah.
Come and get all their young talent and bring it to the big clubs.
Okay,
yeah.
I guess.
Just come feed off of it. All right.
All right. Are you done deflecting? Are we getting to
it's
the bread and butter? Are we getting to the bread and butter of this episode?
It's a youth league.
I think
Is that better? I don't think it's actually any better.
No,
it's a youth league.
that's why I watch it. That's why I watch it.
League,
we got to segue on to this.
So, okay, Manchester Derby.
I
don't have much to say, Mike.
What? You should be leading us off.
I have nothing to say.
What?
What? We're shit.
Would you feel more confident beating Watford going into this game?
No.
It was going to be a loss? You're just going to give up? Everton didn't even give up. You're just going to lay down?
City probably took him lately. Actually, no. He's gone back to making Mahrez like his cup player. And Mahrez...
I know, that was weird.
He's been doing that. Like, he does that, though. He does that.
I hate it, man.
He loves... Because he loves Mahrez, and, like, he's had that interview where it's like, recently, which do you value more, the Champions League or the Premier League? And Pep says the Premier League, obviously. and Mahrez is his cup guy. That's why I picked him up in fantasy in December when the group stage was like wrapped up, and they've been ripping it. And and now he's dropped off. And he played in the FA again today as well, and he scored. I know it was against Peterborough, he's still scoring. He does. Rom saying 1-1 United. City.
I
love the bias. I love the bias and the positivity, Rom. I really, really do. Stay classy.
No, it's going to be a repeat scoreline of last time they played, 2-0.
I think Rangnick will. I've not been completely opposed to like how he's managing. I think he just is working with limited funds here, and talent. I think we're just going to see like a good performance from United, but they're just not good enough. I'm going 2-1. I think it's actually going to be a pretty good match, and it's not. I don't think it's going to be a boring match how it's been under Ollie, where we even snag wins on the break, but like the boring matches, we get draws or whatever, or we actually just thoroughly get thumped 2-0, like I think you're kind of calling this time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think you're going to see a decent performance from United, and people will be like, "Oh, well, that was actually kind of refreshing from United. Like they really, really put a strong foot forward, and they can build off this, and maybe they can build off of it." But it's not going to be enough for this match. It's not going to be enough for City. No fucking way.
Does Pep not outthink himself this game?
He doesn't have to. No. I don't think he ever really has outthunk himself against United with Ollie. I think he just underrated them and didn't really consider the counterattack, the deadliness of United's counterattack over the last few years, and that's why Ollie was able to pick up results against them. So you've seen him overthink things in big monumentous matches, but when it comes to the Manchester Derby, I don't think so. I think he's just kind of, just not really actually giving the respect to our counter that is deserved.
I mean, you still played counter ball side.
Rom, I can actually see that. Honestly, you'll see that so Rom says CR7 Kalma celebration incoming. That's if he wins it in like 80th onwards. If he wins it in the 80th onwards, if we get the lead, he'll do that. That's the only way.
Oh, you mean like if he gets a late goal?
A late goal.
Oh, so if he gets the first goal in the 20th minute,
so you're getting sued.
Oh, okay.
I think you're getting sued because like the game's not done, and nor would it be if you got in the 80th. But like there's a limited time. I like it, Rom. I like it. I hope you're right, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I guess in City's terms, they got their bad game out against Everton, and they still won. So they're probably not going to have another bad game for another 2-3 games. And a bad game for them isn't necessarily like a loss. It's just they didn't play as well, or they didn't capitalize as much.
Yeah.
Usually, City are the dominant team when they play. But you never know. I'm hoping for Manchester United to win. Get the title race going again.
We have the title race is going.
I know, but like really, really going as it should have been from last week, a few days ago.
Yeah, you're right.
And get that top 4 race on again. You guys still fourth. Remember, they have to catch up to you. And Arsenal. They're Arsenal. They could lose 2 of those 3 games. I could see it.
I honestly, at this point, this is actually how I look at it. I think we have when you compare us making champions next year, how are we going to get in? 60% chance through top 4, 40% chance through winning the Champions League. That's how bad I think our chances are of finishing top 4, because we're not winning the fucking Champions League.
Well, you never know. If you get to semis, anything can happen.
It's true. You're right.
And that's why you get the winner of Juve Villarreal, and you're the favorite for that. Whoever it is, you're going to be the favorite.
This is true. I agree. I don't want in a sick.
Maybe you get Salzburg. Maybe get Salzburg
in a sick way. Because quickly before we wrap up here, there's United looking at Pochettino. I desperately want Ten Hag in some kind of twisted way. I obviously want us to advance in the Champions League, and I want Ajax to. I kind of want to draw Ajax and get battered. so the board's like, oh, okay, we have to get this guy. We
that's what you take, eh? That's what you want?
Not really. If we drew Ajax, I'd have to cheer for us, but like part of me would like
maybe
just put us to the sword and make sure we get Ten Hag and not Pochettino.
So if he puts you to the sword, he's like, why would I want to go there?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, keep it tight.
Why would I want to go there?
Actually, yeah, maybe inch a win.
United should inch a win. He's like, what?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, United inch a win. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. You're right. You're right. Okay, all right, guys. Rom, thanks for getting to chat. Much obliged, sir. Stay classy. We're gonna head to the bar if you want to join us for a tea. On me.
Ooh,
all right. And a glass of wine too, if you want. Whatever. Just come chat. We're gonna shoot and talk some football and who knows what else. All right. I think there was a slight allusion to some political talk in this episode, but we'll leave that out. And but yeah, please come join. And everyone else, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you soon. See you next week.
And this is Haram. Ready? Soon. I call my hair, but I'll do soon.
See.